Alrighty.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Jaboozle, you are better at it than I am.
No. All right, guys. What's going on? We're back with another podcast episode. We have a bunch of interesting topics, a lot of things going on in the mobile community right now. And I'm here with AB, of course, and we still don't have a name for this podcast, but pretty much if this is your first time tuning in, we just talk about things not only mobile gaming related, but just things in general that interest us. But a lot of it does center around mobile games and stuff. But yeah, AB, you want to say anything?
Uh, yeah, thank you, Jaboozle. Hello, everybody. I am AB, and today we will be talking about a bunch of cool and interesting topics, even a little bit of drama. Drama is always a lot of fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Twitter is always non-stop with drama, seemingly. Um, very interesting stuff has come about. And Jaboozle and I were briefly talking about this in private conversations, and we might have brought up a couple of things in the last video that, in the last podcast episode, that some developments have arisen from a certain drama area. Um,
Yeah, so
Jaboozle,
yeah,
yeah, you
last
want to?
last time we mentioned a little bit about BobbyPlays, who's obviously one of the biggest Call of Duty mobile content creators in the world, really. And his Twitter rivalry, so to speak, with smaller but still very large Call of Duty mobile content creator, StealthCOD Mobile, who, if you guys don't know, just makes like a lot of like meme Call of Duty mobile videos and like
new battle passes,
things like that.
battle
Jesus.
pass to different viewers of your community.
Sorry, bro. I got the
No, no
audio playing.
worries.
Yeah, bro.
No worries. But yeah, Stealth and BobbyPlays have had a lot of interesting interactions on Twitter, I'll say. And we were talking a little bit about it last podcast. And in the time that it took for us to make the last podcast episode and this one, they went into it. Apparently they had a 1v1 and Bobby lost. But there's been a lot of talk about whether or not it was a fair 1v1. There has been some, I don't know, what would you call them, conspiracy theories, or just like, I don't even know what it is about Stealth.
Yeah, so I don't know the full details about this 1v1. I don't know how the 1v1 even got started. I don't know if it was just Bobby hosting 1v1s and Stealth happened to get in.
So
But I
so
guess
how
the
it's
big
how it start, just
Oh
real
yeah,
quick. So I saw this because I saw, I don't know if you follow him, the mobile drama guy. He made a video about this whole thing. And so he kind of did like the little timeline of how this started, and it literally was just Bobby streaming, and Stealth donated to him and was like, do you want a 1v1? And Bobby accepted, and then they did the 1v1, and then obviously you know what happened after.
so it all started from a donation.
Yeah, literally, like he's just live streaming, and then Stealth just popped in, donated, and Bobby was like, is that the real Stealth? And then I guess he saw the message where Stealth was like, do you want to 1v1 to I guess settle things? And then Bobby said yeah, and then they just got at it, like the game, like as soon as Bobby finished that game that he was in, I guess they just jumped straight into it.
That is crazy. Okay, first of all, I want to say that this is kind of revenge. Because we were talking in our last video how Bobby Plays was kind of hating just to hate, hating on a fellow content creator. I think
Yeah.
Stealth is also a partnered content creator, just like Bobby. I didn't know this, but I guess he's also a partner creator. And so you
Oh,
have one content creator, one of the biggest ones, bringing a lot of heat to a uh, smaller content creator, even though he's technically big because he's like 100,000 subs.
yeah.
So the fact that Stealth won this 1v1, I give him props, and I'm pretty sure it kind of hurt Bobby's ego just a little bit, which I think he rightfully deserved.
Yeah.
But with that being said, though, there was the big drama about it. Besides the 1v1, a lot of people, like you said, there's conspiracies going on that this was possibly not even like Stealth, like it wasn't him in the 1v1. Probably handed his account over to somebody else to play or something. Because
Yeah,
people are speculating that the gameplay and stuff is not stealth. Like it doesn't look like a stealth gameplay.
yeah, and I want to make it clear, the reason why like the community itself is saying that it doesn't look like Stealth and that it's not him and stuff like that is because of Bobby. Because I saw this in the Mobile Drama Guys video. As soon as Bobby loses this 1v1, like during the 1v1 when he starts to lose, I guess that's when he starts to say like, I don't think this is Stealth, this is not Stealth and stuff. And then I guess afterwards, after he lost, he brings up like Stealth's videos and watches them to show like whoever was watching his live stream at the time to be like, look at his gameplay, like this is not the same guy that I just went up against, you know. And so that whole like sort of theory that it's not Stealth, it must have been like a pro player or something that Bobby went up against, it started because Bobby himself during the 1v1 made those claims. I have no idea if it was Stealth or not. I don't watch Stealth's videos, so I don't know if his gameplay was like, you know, abnormal or anything. But like you said, it did kind of seem like it was like a I don't know if Bobby's ego kind of took a hit, because you know he has sort of just unprovoked at sometimes just kind of started, you know, restarted the drama and stuff between them, and this whole thing leading up to this 1v1 and then him losing. It is kind of embarrassing to be like, you know, you have brought this heat to this guy for I guess like what's the reason? Because he has like some bad takes on like iPad players or something, you know, like
Right.
it seems like such a weird reason to have like this, I guess, sort of beef with someone. And then it all kind of culminates to this 1v1 where you lose on your own stream and stuff, and then it just immediately like turns into Bobby being like, it's not him, it must be not him. Guys, look at the gameplay, like look at his gameplay, he wasn't playing like this right now and stuff. And yeah, I will say though, in Bobby's defense, Stealth did use some really weird reasons as to like why he didn't record his POV, because I don't know if you knew that, but he didn't record himself playing.
Right.
Like he didn't even like screen record his actual gameplay or anything like that, which if you're playing up against one of the biggest content creators in the game, like especially someone like Stealth, who was probably already thinking like, if I win this 1v1 I should make a video, you know, being like I own BobbyPlays or whatever. But apparently he didn't do any of that. He didn't screen record it, he didn't record like hand cam or anything like that, and that is kind of sus. I don't agree with a lot of the big content creators that are using that immediately as like it's 100% proof that it wasn't him. But it is suspicious. And yeah, I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so I did read his response to why he didn't record his 1v1, because if you are gonna 1v1 someone like Bobby or iFerg, you know, if you're into content creation, if you're in that community, then what an opportunity to,
Mm.
you know, have some kind of gameplay. Even if you were to lose, it would still be, you know, content.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, 100%.
the fact that he didn't record it, but his reasons for it, in a way, kind of makes sense. He says he didn't want to, I guess, use any resources in recording or whatever. He didn't. But some people were saying that, like, bro, you're playing on one of the newest phones. Like, you're not gonna get lag because your screen record. People were
Yeah, that
kind of calling cap on Stealth's reasoning.
yeah, I can see why people would immediately discredit him because he said that, but as someone who has had a lot of different low-end devices for most of their life, what he said actually makes sense from the perspective of someone who also was on low-end devices up until, you know, very recently. Because I'm pretty sure he mentioned that he got that gaming phone that he's using. I think he mentioned that he got it like a week ago. So this is still a relatively newer device to him. I know before that he was like a low end device player. That was kind of his whole shtick, that like he was like sticking up for the low end device players and like all this stuff. And so from that perspective and like that context, like it makes sense, because when you're on a low end device and you start screen recording, it does mess up your in-game performance because your phone is trying to record your gameplay while also having, you know, smooth gameplay itself and stuff. And for lower end devices, it's just not possible. So him being like, oh well, I didn't want, you know, my performance to suffer or anything like that, it could literally just be like him having that sort of, you know, sort of tick because he was on low end devices up until a week ago when he got this gaming phone. So some people have tried to make it seem like that was like a completely ridiculous thing, but I've been on low end devices, I've tried to record on them, it literally will tank your frame rate in like half if it's like a really low end device, which I'm pretty sure he was using before the ROG 7 or whatever it is that he has. So
Yeah, when I read that, I was like, oh, okay, I guess that kind of does make sense, especially if he like you mentioned, like if it was like a personal almost like habit
Yeah.
of like, oh, every time that I screen record, I know that I run the risk of losing frames or there's gonna be some kind of hiccup because you are dividing your resources between running different apps or whatever on your phone. Like there is a division in resources. The
Hmm.
CPUs and stuff, they're gonna have to provide some of the resources to the screen recording and all that. It could be that it's just out of habit. Maybe the match meant so much to him, to get his revenge or to kind of shut Bobby up. So he had kind of felt like, what, I just need to fully focus on this match and just win. Who cares about the recording? It's being live streamed anyways.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that was another thing that I was thinking too. Is like maybe he just didn't immediately think to record because he was going to use Bobby's perspective. Like even us two, like we've used each other's perspective to upload our podcast because sometimes you don't. I one time I messed up the recording and I had to use yours, or things like that happen sometimes. So maybe he
yeah,
just thought like Bobby's recording, Bobby's live streaming right now. I'll just use his POV or something. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's any conclusive evidence to show that it wasn't stealth. Obviously, there's no conclusive evidence to say that it was stealth either. But I do think that the sort of what happened afterwards was kind of like weird. Like I don't know. Like I don't know if you've seen.
yeah. I feel like it got a little weirder after the one. Yeah, the 1v1 was
Yeah.
drama, but then there was like it got a little weirder.
Yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, like after this whole 1v1 situation, they both made videos. So Stealth made a video that we've seen a little bit of already here on the podcast, where he explained why he didn't record and like all that stuff. And then Bobby made a response video to that. And in Bobby's response video, Bobby straight up calls him out and basically says like, let's 1v1 again. And
Yeah.
I think he put up a wager. Like I think he said if Stealth were to win the second 1v1, he would give him like 20 battle passes to give to his community. And if Stealth lost, then he didn't have to pay anything. And so and then of course Stealth declined. And the reason he declined, he said, I guess is just because it's like what's the reason, I guess? I don't know. But
Right.
it just got really weird because it just kind of felt like this probably shouldn't matter as much as it seems like it's mattering. But then you have like Bobby trying to get another 1v1. He started calling it like saying like a fair 1v1. So it's kind of implying that he thought the first time around was not fair, even though he started when Stealth said like let's 1v1 and he accepted. Bobby was the one that was like trying to get ahead of it, being like, we're not going to complain about things, right? We're not going to complain about ping issues or anything, right? And then literally, and he was winning like the first half of the 1v1. It was like kind of even, and then Bobby was like mostly in the lead. And it was when he started to lose that like I think Bobby at one point takes his headphones off and he's like, why is my audio so weird? And like he's just like inspecting his headphones. Yeah, and then like I think he complained that Stealth used like a flash grenade in the middle of it. And then when he started like really losing is when he started to make the claims of like, this is not stealth, this is not his gameplay, I've seen lots of stealth videos and he does not play like this and stuff like that. So it was just it was kind of funny that like Bobby was the one that tried to get ahead of it, being like, you're not going to complain about things, right? And then he immediately started to complain about things as soon as he started to lose. But yeah, it just got really weird afterwards. A lot of content creators started to jump in on it, and of course in favor of Bobby.
That.
Yeah, like so many content creators like jumped in, just being like, that wasn't stealth, like Bobby's right, Bobby didn't lose anything, like like it's just so weird. And at some point, to me at least, it kind of felt like people were just kind of like picking on Stealth, like sort of trying to peer pressure him into doing this 1v1 again. And people kept saying that like he had like nothing to lose. And me personally, I think I commented on it like on my Twitter. I'll go ahead and show my POV to see if I said something. But I had basically said like Stealth, if anything, has more to lose at this point, because yeah, I said it here. I was like, if Bobby loses again, then he's just where he's at now. Like he already lost. But if Stealth loses, then people will say that he did have someone else play for him the first time, even if it wasn't true. Like maybe he just had a good game, but doesn't matter. People will say like 100% he had someone else play for him that first 1v1. And then if people start believing that, then his entire credibility is as a content creator is ruined, because he's going to be known as the guy that, you know, faked a 1v1 and like had someone else play for it and stuff like that. Again, even if it's not true, if he were to lose the second 1v1, people will be like, yeah, we were right the first time around and stuff. So in my opinion, I said like Bobby has everything to gain, because if he wins, then he like kind of restores his, you know, ego, and he restores this like this guy that I've kind of picked on Twitter a little bit, like, you know, I actually beat him, so, you know, I didn't lose or anything like that. Whereas from my perspective, Stealth, like, he doesn't have that, like, he gains everything. Like, if he does another 1v1 and he wins, then like it's just him proving what he already proved. And like, I don't think anyone's gonna really like apologize for the things that they said, or like the, you know, accusations and things like that. And if he loses, then like his credibility as a content creator is done. People will just immediately assume that he did have like some pro player or something play for him the first 1v1, and it's done for him, you know, and that could have like a drastic effect on his channel and stuff. So I said like I don't blame him. Like, if I was in his shoes, I would not accept the second 1v1 either, because at this point, based off of that little conspiracy theory that Bobby started, like the entire community has rallied behind it. And, you know, it's kind of put him in a position now where it's like, I don't know, the way I look at it, it kind of felt like people were just picking on the guy for winning a 1v1. And
Right.
it was just weird.
He challenged them. He challenged them. Bobby accepted it, and he lost. So if you're gonna accept the 1v1, you better be ready for winning or losing the one.
Right. And I don't think it would have been as big of a deal if Bobby kind of just was like, yeah, I lost. It's like, it's whatever, you know. It's not like it wasn't like an official format or anything like that. Like, they didn't do, you know, anything specific, like, okay, let's just do snipers only. Or it was literally just a spontaneous, you know, like no holds barred type of 1v1 thing. And I don't think it would have been as big of a deal if the immediate sort of like complaining and accusations, you know, hadn't started and stuff. And now at this point, it's become a thing. I think they're planning on I think they said they're planning on like doing an event now or something. Like,
What? Oh wait, I think I saw that. Yeah, I think the big content creators, they want to set up like 1v1s between the CCs.
yeah.
I think they want to do like Bobby versus Stealth if he's willing to take it on, like Noah versus like God. Hey, please, security, security. All right, sorry about that, man. My my
No worries, no
Dobermans
worries.
are Rottweilers. But yeah, I think I saw that they want to set up basically like, a 1v1 event where I think Aerith will take on Vague, and kind of want to do like an event, which I think would be actually pretty dope. It kind of reminds me of like celebrity boxing, or
Yeah.
like the YouTuber versus TikToker boxing, where the content creators, they kind of have a little bit more fun instead of doing their each individual content, or it's always like champs. So to kind of see them get together and do like a 1v1 event would be pretty dope. But as far as Stealth, I don't think he needs to prove himself again. And like you said, if he does take a second 1v1, and even if he were to lose fairly, maybe BobbyPlays just plays harder and beats him,
Mhm.
he still runs the risk of people saying, "Oh, we'll see, he should have never won that first 1v1, crash or whatever.
Yeah.
He's a fake, he's a liar." So yeah, he takes a lot more. He has more at risk, I'd say. Right now, Stealth got the upper hand. Bobby just has a hurt ego. Thinks he's Don King and wants to like set up all these like type of matches, and it's like, bro, you got your ass kicked. Your ego hurts. Stealth doesn't want to take up your 1v1. So, just drop it, Bobby. But I guess he didn't drop it, and I guess did you hear that he deactivated his spam account?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know some people will probably, and maybe even him himself would probably say that it's unrelated, but I think it's not a coincidence that after this little thing, like a couple days later, he just decided to deactivate that account. Yeah, that was I was gonna tell you the mobile drama guy showed it.
Yeah, he actually I actually screenshot it on my phone just in case I wasn't able to pull it up again. It looks like a mobile drama guy already took care of that. Shout out to mobile drama guy.
He's on top of it now. He's back to work.
And yeah, so Bobby,
Yeah,
or he tweeted out deactivating the spam account for the time being, trying to break my Twitter addiction plus the headaches I create for myself with it are not worth the stress. It's just made me a more negative person in general. Just putting this post out for context beforehand.
Yeah, he. I mean, I would have to say that it's not a coincidence that after this whole thing that this was like sort of the outcome because I don't know I don't have anything against Bobby, but I agree with that little last part that he said where he's like it's kind of made me like a more negative person in general. I
Oh
I
man.
I've noticed that like even in like small little like things that people will say, he'll always like clap back with like immediate attitude or like immediate like passive aggressiveness, which is something that I never really watched him that much, like early days of COD Mobile or even beforehand when he was doing like NBA 2K mobile content and stuff. But from what I would see, he never really seemed like that. But I've noticed it lately where it's like even to me, I didn't mention this beforehand, but on Friday it was him and Ducky were doing his podcast live, and I remember asking a question. I think it was like a few mobile games have made both PC and mobile versions, including like Farlight or Lost Light, Undawn. And I was like, is that something that you think would ever work out for something like Warzone Mobile? And I think he responded to it like very snarky, just being like, "Are you trolling or something?" Like if it was like the dumbest question to ask. And
Oh
and
hell no.
yeah, and it was just like what is going on with you that like that's your immediate reaction to like a genuine question. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know him personally. I don't know, he obviously knows what he did this for and stuff, but if I had to guess, I would think that this whole stealth thing did kind of like shine a light on like, oh, look, I couldn't accept that I won this 1v1 and I made these claims and stuff, and now literally the entire mobile community is like spamming stealth being like you didn't win, you faked it, you're a hacker, you're this and that and stuff, and it's just like it's essentially kind of like bullying almost like having all these huge content creators 500k subs, a million subs and stuff like commenting on the thing, backing up Bobby and like kind of like making these accusations against stealth with no proof or anything like that. Like it's just it started off as like a really spontaneous little 1v1 thing, and it just became so weird and just became sort of this like
Yeah.
yeah. And I feel bad for stealth, but I don't know if he cheated or not, but like whether or not he did, like the just having like all these big content creators kind of all be in this like friend group and this circle group and kind of all saying the same accusations about you, and all their communities backing them up too, and like your notifications just blowing up because everyone's calling you like a fraud. Like it's just it must have been like a really like negative sort of headspace to be in for stealth, and I personally think that that led to this. I think Bobby realized that, and I think Bobby realized like, yeah, I'm kind of taking this Twitter thing a little bit too far.
Yeah, I think it kind of reveals a lot about the headspaces of some of these content creators. It kind of shows you what kind of community you're a part of. So you think
Yeah,
you're all doing COD mobile content. You think you're if it's true that they're both I don't know for sure, but if they are, partnered content creators, which means you're dealing with the same companies, you're getting the same amount of information, you think you're part of the same circle, but you're not a part of the same group, and there kind of is this like almost like I don't know, like classism in a way, like
yeah,
your
yeah,
channel is smaller than mine, and I have a bigger channel, and my friends have big channels, and we're gonna just hang up on the channels that we don't like, and we're gonna only promote each other. Bobby
yeah,
promotes Hawk, Bobby, Noah, the same circle of friends, and then they never shout out anybody else. And when they do bring up somebody, it's you know a 5 second clip of someone's cracked shotgun play. Oh yeah, that was a cool shotgun blast. Wow, he's great, and then that's it. But they don't really as big as they are, they don't really seem to stray far from their small circle. And you're either
yeah,
in the circle or you're not, and it kind of seems like anybody else is gonna. I don't see this circle ever accepting any. I don't think they're gonna accept anybody, man. I think it's kind of revealing of how these guys think and what they're doing. They just have their own little circle, and at this point, no one's getting into it. COD Mobile is already 4 or 5 years in, and
Yeah.
this is the circle. This is what everybody wants to get into, and I don't think anyone else is gonna get there. I
Yeah.
think the circle's closed, bro.
Yeah, I think it,
It's a click.
I definitely think that exists. I definitely do notice the sort of, it's the same guys. Like you'll instantly know who it is. Like they're all in this circle, and I don't know. From what I notice, as someone who doesn't like, I'm not friends with them. I don't really have any like sort of aspirations to be friends with them or anything. From my perspective, as someone who I would say is kind of neutral, like it seems like, yeah, like if you're in that circle, like you're in, and you get support and you get love and you get like defense, in situations like this where you lose a 1v1 and you have like 5-10 other content creators defending you and perpetuating your little conspiracy theory. And if you're outside of that circle, then that's when they'll just randomly subtweet, making fun of your content or calling you, not a content creator, trying to discredit like the style that you have or the thing that you do and stuff. And I never see them kind of address those things with people that are in that circle. And it's just weird, man. It's just weird because it's like at some point they were all the small guy too, and they were probably doing this on their own without that circle, and so I don't know how you get to the point where like you're so jaded that you can just sort of pick on people that are smaller just because they're not in your like immediate friend group for no real reason, even when like some of the people that are in your friend group are kind of doing the same things that be hating on with some of these smaller content creators and stuff. It's just weird. It's just weird that sometimes they'll turn a blind eye when it's their friends doing it or whatever. But when it's someone like Stealth, for example, who, yeah, he's a big content creator on his own. He's like 120K subs or something like that, but he's not in the circle. And so it's like, it's easier, I guess, to, to pick on this guy and to rally against this guy and stuff like that. And, I mean, if he has sort of recognized that, like, it's kind of become like a toxic thing and it's kind of, I mean, he said himself, like, it's not worth the stress. So I'm guessing this is something that has kind of been on his mind and like stressing him out and stuff. If he's recognized that and stuff, then that, good for him. But yeah, I don't know. I've noticed the circle, like you said, and sometimes it's very weird seeing how they'll say things about content creators outside of that circle and then turn a blind eye when someone in it is doing the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's hopefully he does, have, I guess it's like a realization, and maybe he changes his attitude. Do you think he owes like a statement or an apology at all, or should he just, not even address it and just continue doing?
Um, I don't know, man. If I was in Stealth's position, whether he did cheat or not, like just having like an army of people blowing up your noties, calling you a fraud and calling you a hacker and like all this stuff. I think I would probably want not like a public statement, but I would at least want him to like reach out in DMs and be like, I didn't mean for it to get this big, like my bad. Like just that would be enough for me to be like, we're all good, dude. Like don't even worry about it. Like it's fine. But as far as like a public statement, I don't know, that it doesn't seem like something Bobby would do in this scenario. I don't know. What do you think though?
I think they should both just drop it and move on. Unless I think I look at like what Jake Paul and them are doing, and Logan Paul, and I think that a lot of their matches are pretty much like scripted, planned.
Yeah.
We're gonna go 10 rounds. You take the fall. I look like the good guy, and I get to challenge the next guy. And we both make millions. If these guys wanted to be smart about it, they can go ahead and do their event. I think their event would probably attract a lot of attention, and in the end, everybody like in a good light if they handle things right and surely and just have fun with it. And
Yeah.
maybe get it would kind of ease everybody off of Stealth's neck and Bobby's at the same time. Bobby can kind of redeem himself. Um, that's if they want to, have a fun, friendly event and just kind of not necessarily bring him into the circle, but kind of show that like, hey, we're not a bunch of bullies. Like we can get together and have fun.
Yeah.
Let's just move on from here.
Yeah, I like the idea of them turning it into like a friendly event where they're like, let's make this like sort of a spectacle and let's like get the community involved so they can be happy
Yeah.
about something. I think it was what happened right after the 1v1 and before they announced these sort of like little plans to make an event. it's that stuff in between that I kind of like, it just left a bad taste in my mouth. But if Bobby would have just immediately responded being like, damn, I lost, but like, why don't we have a rematch? Let me, you know, get another chance. Let's make this whole an event. Let's get some of the people that are in that circle, like, you know, this person and this person 1v1 and like thing, and like turn it into like this fun thing. Then yeah, it would have been really cool to see it just play out like that. And I think there would have been a lot less sort of stress and just like backlash on both ends, like with Bobby and with Stealth, if they would have handled it like that at first. But obviously they didn't do that. So yeah, they I think they'll probably just, if they do actually go through with this event, then you know they're not going to drop it yet. They're going to probably build it up a little bit maybe. But if they don't actually want to do this event, like if Stealth decides like, yeah, I'm not going to do it, I think they should just both kind of just drop it and just be like, you know, I don't know, it's not worth it. I guess it's not worth the, like he said, it's not worth the stress, it's not worth the headaches and stuff.
Yeah, there's no real point to keep it going. You know what I mean? Just to keep negative energy and the conspiracies and the haters going back and forth attacking one another. So I think they either do the event, make it fun, make it kind of like a redemption arc, have a happy ending to the drama, or yeah, just drop it, just move on with content, make
They
good content, and
they should have us in the event. We should be the ones 1v1ing.
you know what? I think that would be fantastic, bro. I'll take on I'll challenge. Who would I challenge? Um, I've always I think I could probably take on Aerith. Maybe.
Oh, that she's like a pro player, isn't she?
Oh, she's very good.
No, I want
Very good.
whoever's like still in like masters or whatever in COD Mobile right now. Like, I want that person. I want someone that's gonna make me look good.
Oh, Bobby.
Oh man, yeah, that was a crazy situation though. It was crazy
Yeah.
to see it like happening in real time. Like yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. As much as I don't like drama, I mean something like this where it's just it's basically just words on the internet. It's nothing personal in person or whatever. This kind of drama, just makes mobile gaming a little bit more interesting. And COD Mobile has a competitive nature, and the people that you know partake in events and stuff have a competitive spirit. So seeing that kind of shine to the extreme, I guess, has been kind of fun. It's been very fun, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see how this all plays out in the end, because I don't think it's over. At least there's no finale conclusion quite yet, but we'll see what happens next. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure whatever happens next, we'll be talking about it in our next episode, right, Jab?
For sure, dude. For sure.
Oh man,
Yeah, I just realized I had a bunch of topics like written
yeah.
down and saved, and then
Hmm.
I can't find them.
What? You deleted him?
It's not in my notes. Like I normally write it down in my notes. I don't know if it didn't save or if I accidentally deleted it or
I
something,
got a
but
I got a topic. I got one for you.
yeah,
I
yeah,
got
go
one.
for it.
So in YouTube Studio, uh, or anyone that isn't aware, YouTube Studio is like an app
Oh,
where
I
you
saw
can
this.
see all your analytics and stuff on YouTube. One of the top searches in mobile gaming was Rainbow Six Mobile Battle Royale. So
I don't know
the
who's
idea
searching this up. I don't know who's
yeah,
searching this
bro.
up, but I have a problem with them.
Yeah, so the idea with YouTube Studio is that it gives you a bunch of analytics and, recommended ideas to make content. So one of the top searches being Rainbow Six Mobile Battle Royale means that people are actually searching this up. They're going on YouTube and searching Rainbow Six Mobile Battle Royale.
This is the outcome when you have a
Why?
platform where most of the big games, at least in our community, right, like the shooter community, are BRs because everyone thinks that every game now is a BR or has to have a BR mode and stuff. And yeah, it's crazy that there are enough people searching this up that it's like in your top searches in your YouTube analytics, because this isn't like a one-off thing. This has to be like a bunch of people thinking
Yeah,
that
so
Rainbow.
like I would get results like it'll say top searches to like kind of give me ideas for my next video. It would be like Warzone Mobile, Combat
Yeah.
Master update release. And then this was number one on my list.
Oh
This was
my
the most
god.
searched Rainbow Six Battle Royale. So my question to you, Jeb, was: do games at this point, do they necessarily need to have a battle royale succeed? Because I do want to add that there's another game that I follow called X Defiant, and X
Mm.
Defiant is gearing up for release in, I believe, in a couple weeks. And a lot of people are saying that X Defiant will not succeed because it is not launching with a battle royale. Same thing happened with Halo. Halo didn't get
Yeah.
a battle royale. And so, do you think that, as popular as they are, it's clear that people still have an interest in battle royales, but do these games necessarily need battle royale to like succeed, like Warzone Mobile, Call of Duty Mobile, PUBG, which are clearly, battle royales and they're huge?
Mhm.
What do you think?
Um, I think for a lot of games it does make sense. Like X Defiant, I've seen the gameplay. I saw your video on it when you were playing and stuff, and I think it would make sense. I don't know if they even have plans for that or if it would work in whatever engine they're using and stuff. But when you look at the actual gameplay, like yeah, when you think of like multiplayer shooters now, like shooters that revolve around these TDM and things like that, we've seen them all introduce BRs, or even games that started off as just BRs have introduced these like extra TDM modes and stuff. So they kind of go hand in hand at this point. But a game like Rainbow Six Mobile, I do not think needs a BR. Like, first of all, like it's not even a traditional FPS game. It's a very very specific type of FPS game with that sort of S&D like gameplay with the destructible environments and the CQB stuff. So no, I think with Rainbow, it doesn't really make sense to make a BR. But in other cases, it can. X Defiant, I think, could potentially work. Halo is an interesting one because I remember that was like a heated topic back then, where people were like, "Yeah, Halo is gonna die if it doesn't get a BR," and people were like adamant that like, no, it will be carried by the multiplayer, it'll be carried by the campaign mode, and then obviously like there's 13 people playing Halo Infinite right now, and so it's like it's like who knows how it could have ended up if they did actually focus on a BR and stuff, especially because I think the campaign was focused on like this open world gameplay for the first time in Halo and stuff. So who knows if maybe some of those resources would have been better spent putting it into a free to play BR mode. Maybe there would be more people playing Halo Infinite right now. But I don't know. I think for some games, if for sure it could be like a benefit. But Rainbow Six, no, you guys need to stop searching that up. That is not a game that is not a game that needs a BR.
Yeah, I think yeah, definitely some game designs, they're just not, I don't see how they would translate to a battle royale where, the nuance and the Rainbow Six Mobile has a very unique style of gameplay where it's very close quarters,
Yeah,
it's very tactical. So how would you translate this to like a big battle royale map? Um
yeah,
I just don't know if it would necessarily translate well. I mean, if they could come up with some kind of way to maybe do like a big map, and maybe there's multiple buildings within a large map, and then you have to maybe complete objectives within each building, and then I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's definitely some ideas that could sprout from something like that, but
yeah,
Rainbow Six Mobile Battle Royale, I don't think it'll happen. I don't think there's a reason for it to happen. But
yeah.
I wonder though, just how things are going with the Rainbow Six Mobile, how it'll succeed or how it will progress long term. I just don't know.
Yeah,
I've
I
seen a lot of people just kind of like not really fall in love with it right away, which is kind of weird.
yeah, I like the gameplay. I like it a lot. For some reason, I don't know. I'm just not as excited about it as I wasn't for their during their first alpha. When I played that first alpha, I was literally playing like 4 to 5 hours a day, grinding leaderboards because it was so much fun. And I honestly don't know what it is, but like I have it on my phone and like I've only touched it. I think the last time I touched it was last week when I live streamed, and I don't know, it just hasn't really done much to like capture me at the moment. It does, to be fair, it does have some issues too, like there's high ping because I'm playing on the Canadian server and stuff. um but yeah, I don't know, And it's also kind of weird too because I think they just announced that like season Y, like their first season is
Yeah,
beginning, and like
yeah,
half the community's pissed because they're like, bro, like you're released in like 2 or 3 countries right now, like what is gonna happen, for the rest of us? And I think that's a genuine concern. A lot of these games, like Warzone Mobile's another one, like they've got these ongoing seasons right now and it's not available for a majority of people. So it's kind of this weird thing that we see with mobile games, and I don't know why they're doing this. If they're doing this because they're planning on launching in a lot more regions, then obviously makes sense. But for just being in Canada and Mexico right now, it makes no sense to launch a season right now.
it's very weird because, like, for example, with Rainbow Six Mobile, they had Season X, which, by the way, Rainbow Six Mobile, we might have a copyright issue because you started out with Season X, now you're moving on to Season Y. X and Y, those are mine. Right?
Sue them.
Th- Those are mine. Um, but what's crazy is that yeah, the game launched or soft launched in Canada. Entirety of Season X was purely Canadian server, and now they opened up the Mexican server, so there's 2 servers now, and now they're going into Season Y, and so there's a whole season that a bunch of people haven't had a chance to partake in, and all those
Yeah.
rewards, all the things that you can unlock, like all that's gone. And like you said, with Warzone Mobile, like they're technically in Season 6,
Yeah,
and
like
with the game,
they've been going since MW2. Like all that those battle passes, all that
yeah,
content. Like
yeah,
if you
all
didn't
that content.
Yeah, like if you didn't have MW2 and you didn't have a PC and a console and you haven't been playing this entire time, like that's just content that you're gonna have to hope comes into the game later on because as of right now, like you can't get it. Like it's
Yeah, like you can't get any of the battle pass rewards, like all that stuff, unless they start doing like battle pass vaults, like vault
Mhm.
editions or something where you can like get them retroactively or whatever. Seeing Call of Duty's history with things, they just keep marching forward. There's going to be, year 2, season 1, and seasons whatever, and then all the original content unobtainable for who knows how long. But people are already
Yeah.
getting practice. They're getting good. They're getting familiar with the maps and the weapons, and they already have Orion, maxed out camo grinds, and
Yeah.
we're gonna. And then when the game finally launches, I'm gonna be starting out with like a brand new account, going up against people that already have 6 seasons ahead of me.
Yeah.
It's a weird dynamic for sure, and it is pissing off a lot of people. A lot of people. I'm reading comments here about the Rainbow Six one, and You know, someone said, "Why are you doing this, man? Who asked for a new season?"
Another thing I think they need to like I'm sure they are. I just want to like preface this before I say anything. Like I'm sure this stuff will come in time. But another thing that I've noticed is a lot of people seem to be on iOS devices that have 3 gigs of RAM instead of 4. So just because of that one thing, they can't play the game. Like I'm seeing, I saw it right now. Someone said I can't play on my iPad Mini 5 because the iPad Mini 5 has 3 gigs of RAM. So even though they support that processor, just because they don't have that fourth gig of RAM, they can't play the game. Same thing with people on the iPhone 10R, which is like one of the most popular iPhones because it was like a budget iPhone. These people can't play the game either and stuff. And so that's something that I want to see them address too, because right now it's like they have like a hard requirement of like at minimum 4 gigs. It does not matter what processor you have, does not matter how powerful your phone is. If it has below 4, then you can't play. And there are a lot of mobile devices still that are plenty powerful for a game like this that do fall under the 4 gigabyte requirement. And I think that's something they should probably address like ASAP because it's literally every time I see someone post about Rainbow Six, I see people being like, "Why doesn't it work on my iPhone 10R? Why doesn't it work on my iPad Mini 5?" And it's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like Rainbow Six Mobile is kind of like in a weird spot, weird state. I would love for it to be growing. I'm sure it will once it releases in more territories, but yeah, it kind of seems like they're kind of limiting themselves, limiting their audience, and but
I I
the
really
game
think
is
it's
future proofed for.
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead, go
sorry,
ahead.
bro.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that if the reason for them omitting so many devices or whatever because they're gonna future proof the game for like the next 5 years and that's in the plans, that is the part of their roadmap or blueprint, and then the game will be great going forward. But
Yeah.
yeah, kind of like a rocky start, and another reason why I think people are just not really loving Rainbow Six, mobile and content in general. I just don't feel like a lot of people are like, I don't see a lot of content creators posting about Rainbow Six, and I especially don't see their content like blowing up. It's kind of my
Yeah.
case. My
Yeah, I've noticed the same thing. I've noticed. I don't know if you interact with him, Lord Heck. He
Yeah,
he's
a
been
little bit.
posting. Yeah, he's been posting a lot of Rainbow Six mobile stuff. And a lot of it has blown up on TikTok, but a lot of it is like people being like, "This is fake gameplay," or like because they don't believe that Rainbow Six is on mobile yet. And
What?
yeah, I saw one of his TikToks popped up on my for you, and it literally had like 100K likes or something like that. So
Oh,
that
wow.
it like blew up for him. And there's so many comments of people being like, "This is fake gameplay," or like, "This is a clone," or like, "This is a ripoff game," or something.
This is
And
Area F2, damn it.
and it's crazy because I've gotten the same thing because I just posted a TikTok recently of Warzone mobile gameplay on the new iPhone 15 Pro Max. And there's so many comments that I got because that I think it ended up getting like 170K views on my TikTok. And so every time I open it, I have like dozens and dozens and dozens of comments, and so many of them are people being like, "This is fake. This is Modern Warfare 2019 with like a fake mobile overlay over it," or things like that. It's kind of crazy because so many people don't believe that like mobile games have advanced enough that we have Rainbow on here or Warzone on here and stuff. It's crazy.
The game is so obscure at the moment that people don't even believe it's real gameplay. But yeah, here's a
Yeah,
video. Here's a clip of Lord Heck playing.
he's good at the game. I've seen a lot of his TikToks. He's legitimately good at the game. Oh, I say that as soon as he gets wrecked.
Shout out to Lord Heck, by the way.
Yeah, I like his Rainbow Six mobile stuff a lot, and you're right. Like right
He's
now,
sick
there's
with it.
yeah, he's really good. Right now, there's not a lot of content though to watch about it. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's just really it doesn't seem like it's really like hitting with the community right now. But I think, and what I was gonna say earlier is, I think this is like an issue because of how these developers do mobile games and stuff. For some reason, we have these like long periods of time where the game is technically available but not really, and then you have people that like you've got to jump through like hoops to get it installed, and you need a VPN, and they're in soft launch for 6 months, and then they're in a limited region release or whatever they call it. And it's just such a weird thing where like it's not like PC or console where you have a game revealed and then like 3 months later it's out. It's instead it's this thing where it's like, we revealed this game, now we're in alpha for a year, now we're in beta for a year, now it's an open beta, anyone can join, now it's a soft launch, but for some reason the soft launch has less regions than the beta did. And then it's like this weird like sort of availability thing. And I think during that is when like the community kind of just loses interest, because the entire time that they know of these games, they're just like a work in progress. And then it takes so long to get it like to the final product that by the time you're done, it's like, yeah, I've already moved on. I've gone back to PUBG Mobile, or I went back to COD Mobile or
Right.
whatever. And it's just so weird. I wish mobile games stopped doing that. I wish they would do like closed testing like internally, or how other companies do, where they like have private play tests where that stuff does not get put out to the public. And then when it's in an actual playable state and it's almost ready to release, then you do the soft launch or whatever it is, and within a couple months you're like fully out the door and stuff. Like, how long has Warzone Mobile been available technically? And yeah, it's like, when is this game going to release? It's been available for almost like 2 years, it feels like now, but technically only to like 4 regions, and it's just such a weird thing. Um, but yeah, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I feel like all those delays and like the lack of territories during like soft launches or whatever, like definitely hurt a game. And so I'm wondering then what's the point? What is the point of revealing a game so early if it's going to be so unavailable? And I'm wondering if it has to do with like say for example like pre-registration numbers. So they could
Mm,
probably announce a game early and then they go pre-register for our game and we'll let you know when it's available. I wonder if the devs then take these numbers to like investors or whatever. When they have their
yeah.
investor meetings, they're like, "Oh, check it out, guys! We just announced High Energy Heroes, and we got 40 million pre-registrations. Start signing those checks, boys, because there's going to be so much return on investment." And
Yeah.
over time, those numbers are going to go up. Oh, we got 100 million pre-registrations, guys. We're going to be freaking billionaires. And I wonder if that's why they start announcing things so early so they can start like inflating those numbers over time with like pre-registrations or things like that because I don't see what it would be the point of announcing things so early. Supposedly Rainbow Six Mobile was in development for 3 years before it
That
even launched in alpha.
that's
Which
what
at
I'm
now
saying. Like,
and now it's 4 years of development for Rainbow Six Mobile and you've only been available in 2 territories, Canada and Mexico. What's the
y-
point?
yeah, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy how long they've taken. Apparently, based off of what they said. Like, it's not it's not a rumor. Like, they said it themselves. And so it's like, okay, 4 years. Like, I get it. Game development takes time and stuff like that. But like, if you knew that the release was going to be another 1 to 1.5 years out, why reveal it at that time then? Why not just continue cooking, and why not just continue letting it get to where it needs to be and stuff? And yeah, I think what you said does make kind of it does make sense though. Like, maybe it is to just inflate like pre-registration numbers, or to show investors like interest, like, hey, look, we need more money because this game is already developed like this much hype, and X amount of millions of people have already pre-registered for it. I know that is something that developers will flex. Like, they will flex, like, we've officially reached 50 million pre-registrations, like, thank you guys. Or they'll even offer incentives, like, if we hit 100 million pre-registrations, you guys will get this character unlocked when you first install the game or whatever. And I've definitely seen like little events and stuff like that. And maybe it is like a financial reason why. Who knows? But I genuinely do think that it is hurting games more than it's helping, because there's been like countless games now where they've been available in alpha, beta, or soft launch for so long, and we still don't have them in full release. And it's kind of like the hype just moves on to the next thing and the next thing. And then you have situations like Apex where the game was available in beta more longer than it was in global release.
It was out for what was the total? It was out for like what, 6 months?
I
Something
think it
like
was,
that.
I think it was like yeah, like 7 maybe.
Because it didn't make it to 4 seasons. I think it got canceled during its
No,
fourth.
and that was the season that people were like, "This is it, guys. The game's gonna be back." Like,
People were like, finally, the game's good, and servers shut down.
I think it was a good update too. I think I remember they did release the update, even though they had already announced that the game was gonna be shutting down. And then I think people were actually being like, the changes they made were so good, like don't shut it down. And I think people were even trying to play to like show like there still is an interest in this game, like, please don't shut it down. And they still shut it down.
Yeah, they
But
stole my money.
yeah, that was crazy that they like publicly were like, we're not offering refunds. Like, cause most, I think like most game companies don't announce that. Like, I think they'll give you it if you ask, but they're also not going to be like, don't worry guys, we're giving your money back or anything like that. But EA straight up came out and is like, yeah, we're shutting this down and we're taking your money. Don't even ask. Like, it was crazy.
It would probably be a nightmare to try to refund all that.
Yeah.
So many territories, and have to. I mean, I know everything would be tied to your account, so you have your proof of everything, but I could just imagine them having to be, damn man, we
And
make a little money off of this before we go away.
Yeah, I don't think they even made that much to begin with. I think they like revealed how much the game had made in like the 6, 7 months that it was out, and I think it was only like 40 million or something. And I feel like other games like COD Mobile probably makes that in a month, if not more, and they were out for like half a year. And oh, that's right. I remember there was an article that was written too. Let me see if I can find it. Um
Oh,
I think they had said like hold on, how do you spell revenue?
RE.
Yeah, it says 40 million. It says 40 million was the total revenue for the 7 months that they were available. And this is the article I was thinking of right here. I can share it to you right now. It says Apex Legends Mobile has lost 96% of its revenue in 8 months. So
Oh my.
yeah, it literally I don't even know how to send it to you, but it literally said like it was like a high, like they made a lot at the beginning and then it just plummeted. Like there's like I don't know, I don't even know how to share it with you right now, but there's like
There should be a little like underneath our little profiles at the bottom of the screen. You see like a little looks like
oh
a little like a little
yeah,
arrow kinda.
yeah, I got it. All right, I'm
There it
sharing it
is.
with you. Like there's like you can see this like graph. It's like when they first release, like those first couple of days, it's so high and then it just plummets.
It's like a little roller
And
coaster.
yeah, and then this article here, it's like Apex Legends Mobile has lost 96% of its revenue in 8 months.
Oh,
So they made, how much did they make? They earned 37 million and they were downloaded by 37 million. So each each user spent $1.
spend $1. That's the goal, boys. That's where the money is. $1 per person. You ever hear that? Like that? It's not like a meme where like, guys, there's 4 million people in my town. If every person gives me $1, I'll have $4 million
Oh yeah,
dollars.
yeah, yeah.
Apex literally did that, and they went, they got to shut down their game.
I'm wondering, I highly doubt they actually revealed it, but I'm wondering how much money did it cost to develop this game?
Oh
And
my gosh.
also of this 40 mil that they made, how much of it is Tencent's? Because they're probably splitting that between EA and Tencent, and I'd imagine Tencent would want most of that, right? Because I think they were the actual developers, and EA was just kind of like loaning the IP. So that's probably why EA axed it, because they're probably not making that much to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, they had to stop the bleeding at some point. They're probably like, dude, we're only making $1 per person. This isn't enough.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Apparently though, I don't know, I made a video on it, but I don't know if you heard the rumors or anything, but apparently EA's like working on bringing Apex as it is on PC and consoles to mobile.
I've heard.
Yeah, so that would be interesting to see if they actually do. Um Especially because I can't really think of any of these like American, like, oh, I should just say like from the West, like these game developers that have tried to take on their own mobile games instead of getting NetEase or Tencent to do it. I can't really think of a single example of one that's done it successfully, at least in like the shooter genre. Like I
Yeah, I mean, I think Ubisoft technically, their
hmm,
their studios in Montreal or Quebec, one of those.
yeah.
Um, I think they have a fairly small amount of people in their studio. They've shown pictures of like their staff parties or whatever. It literally
Yeah.
looks like it's probably like 50 people.
Yeah, I imagine that they probably have it split up too, because they have other mobile games in the works too. You know, they got the Assassin's Creed game, they've got the Division game. Like, it's probably not that big of a team for Rainbow specifically.
Yeah, but something like Apex, it seems like a lot of like the free to play games and stuff, like they definitely require a lot of work and
I
yeah, I
I
see a lot of outsourcing.
I genuinely think the reason Apex shut down was because of EA and not Tencent. And the reason why I think is because I don't think a lot of people realize Tencent made a MOBA game similar to like League of Legends. They made one called Arena of Valor, which was like a Western adaptation of a MOBA that they had in China. That was like, I think it's literally like one of the most popular games in history, like based off of how much money it's made. And so they tried to adapt it to for like a Western audience, and they released it here, and it never really like took off, but they continued to support it and stuff. And then they even released it on the Nintendo Switch, and they like abandoned it like almost immediately, like because they never updated it or anything like that because no one played it. But even still to this day, like the servers are online. You can still play if you find people, like. And so even if Apex was like hemorrhaging money, and even if it lost 96% of its revenue or whatever, like the fact that they already like supported this obscure, not super obscure, but like kind of obscure game on a platform that they don't really make games for, and you can still play that game it's been like 4 or 5 years and you can still play it, then I imagine like if it was up to them, they probably would have continued Apex Mobile and tried to turn it around. If not, they probably would have just done what a lot of mobile games do, and they just stop updating it, but it's still live and you can still play it. So I genuinely think it was an EA decision, and that makes me question like, well, why would EA want to do that? Maybe it's because they are gonna make a Apex mobile game of their own that does tie into the PC console version, and they don't want this other one that's associated with Tencent to also be out too and stuff. So who knows?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I didn't think about that. That's a good point. Someone as big as Tencent, yeah, I mean, even if a game isn't as successful, the servers could still be on, and even if the player base was small, they would keep it up. I mean, that kind of seems to be the case with a lot of games. Even something like as old as like old Call of Duty games, those games are still up. Like the servers are still
Mhm.
playable to a certain degree. But EA immediately axing this, I want. I think I read somewhere, it was some leaker or somebody said, guys, don't worry, Apex Legends Mobile was just meant to be a test to see what interest would be like. The real Apex Legends Mobile will be coming, developed by EA to cross progression. I wonder.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't know if I would go that far to say, oh, they invested all these millions and millions of dollars to do quote unquote a test. Um, but I mean, yeah, it would definitely be falling on EA. It's EA's IP. And EA is notoriously, a greedy company like Activision and them, so it probably wasn't generating enough money. Maybe they, who knows what they saw, but
Yeah.
probably figured, the best bet is to just shut it down. And then, I mean, I could see it coming back for sure. I could see it coming
Yeah.
back.
Because I genuinely think if it was up to Tencent, I think that game would still be live right now. Like I have the page opened up here of Arena of Valor on Switch. It was released exactly 5 years ago, and it was never updated. Like you can see here, it says 39 fearless. Those are the original 39 heroes that were in the game. They released it, and I think it was already a year old based on the mobile version. I think the mobile version came out 2017 and this came out 2018. And when they released this on Switch, it was already outdated because the mobile version already had like a year's worth of content extra that this version didn't have. And they never updated it really. They never like added new content or things like that. But still to this day, you can go, you can play online, you can buy things, like you can play it still. It just doesn't receive any new content. And this is a Tencent game, and there's plenty of other examples that you can find on mobile where like you'll look at the update history and it'll be last updated, a year ago, last updated 3 years ago, but you can still download the game, you can still play it, servers are still online. And I think Tencent would have done that with Apex if not if EA didn't, intervene and say like, no, we're shutting it down. And the only reason I can think they would want to shut it down is because, they have something in the works that that game could interfere with. Because otherwise it makes sense to just keep it up, stop pushing out content with it and stuff, and just, whatever dummy decides to support that game, just you take that money or whatever, and you just forget about it, like a lot of these mobile developers do with these games that aren't supported anymore. But yeah, I think it's a really interesting situation, and I like you said, I wouldn't be surprised if Apex came back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be happy if it did too. I mean, I'm like so. I'm not like a huge Apex fan, but it definitely does have an audience, and a lot of people I see on Twitter all the time where they're like, "Oh man, I haven't been the same since they closed Apex Legends Mobile, and no other game hits the spot. Farlight 84 sucks ass. Farlight's dead."
I do think it was a fun game. I'll be honest, like it had its issues and stuff, but I do think it was fun, and I do think I would prefer having it on mobile as an option versus not. But and I think most people think like that too, because I mean, look at all the hype right now around high energy heroes. It, it's very clear that people do want something like Apex on mobile. It's just I don't think it was really like executed right the first time around. But we'll see. I mean, maybe High Energy Hero. Maybe there is no need for EA's like Apex Mobile because maybe High Energy Heroes does go global, you know. And so it's nice that there's options at least.
You know what really needs to happen is Rainbow Six Mobile Battle Royale.
That's what the people want apparently because it's the
That's
number
what they
one
want,
search.
man. That's what they want. That's what the people want. Start taking pre-registrations now.
It's funny because loud Escar. Sorry about that. It's funny
I
because
didn't hear it.
oh, okay. It's I looked at my top searches and it's normal stuff. It's nothing funny like like yours. It's just Warzone Mobile Android release date. Warzone Mobile Android gameplay. Best mobile games 2023.
Yeah, see, that's how the majority of mine were, but there was the top one. I'm looking at it right now. Let me look it up, see if it has changed at all. YouTube Studio Analytics Research. Top searches: Call of Duty, PUBG. What? New Warzone loadout. PUBG Mobile new zombie mode game. Oh, is that a thing? Now, top searches: Rainbow Six Mobile, Four Finger Claw. Okay, Battle Royale is not in there anymore now. I guess the people have moved on.
I had a
That's
funny
funny.
thing I wanted to point out because the last podcast we talked about the new iPhones. And one thing that they did with the new iPhones, well, they originally introduced this in the iPhone 14 series with the Pro Max and the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max. And it was they changed the notch and they added this they call it the dynamic island, which I'm gonna just look it up real quick. And
It's not a notch anymore.
no, it's not a notch. It's like a little. It looks kind of like a pill or something. Like it's like a. It has
I think
a little bit more screen on the top, you know, and it's in the
Right.
it's not like a notch anymore, and it extends based on like it can react to like various like apps or notifications and things like that. So this can actually like it can extend farther, or it can actually bring up like a whole window to show like you know your Uber ride or something. Like it's like a cool little interactive thing. And it's something they introduced with the 14 Pro and Pro Max only, but with the 15 series, they've made it standard now across even the cheapest iPhone. So now every new iPhone looks like this. And I just wanted to point out because it was funny because you know everyone always talks about like Android versus iOS and stuff, and a lot of the Android community can be very passionate about you know being better than iPhones or whatever. But I saw this on Twitter where they're like talking about they're like Android users secretly want the dynamic island, and then they're showing like these screenshots of like these apps where it's like dynamic island 5 million downloads and stuff, and it just adds a fake dynamic island to your Android.
Oh my god.
And it's funny because this entire time that the iPhone 15 series has been out, I've seen so much like talk from Android, like the Android community itself being like these new iPhones suck, they're the same, you know, no new features, like all these various things. And yet you have things like this where it's like 8 million views, how to add dynamic island on my Samsung. And it's just like these fake sort of thing. It's just funny. It's just something that I wanted to
Oh
point
my
out because
god.
it's crazy how popular these things are. Like people
That's
want
wild.
yeah, people want like these iOS features on Android, but it's crazy.
That is funny. And when I was looking at it, when I saw the little pill shape, I was like, oh, didn't some of the Samsung Galaxy cameras do like a dual, like a camera and a sensor? It was kind of like in the pill, and they put it like in
Yeah.
one of the corners, like the top right corner. I thought it looked similar to that, but it's so you can like swipe from there, kind of like the sidebar on Galaxy phone.
Yeah, it's like a really interesting like it houses the selfie camera, obviously. I could go back to the actual one. It houses the selfie camera and like the sensors or whatever in there, but it's like interactive, so it can bring up like just like notifications and like it depends on the apps that you're using, of course, but it can just bring up like various things, like if you look at something like this, like it can show your music, but then it'll change to show like who's calling you, and then it'll show this for whatever
Oh,
that
that's
is. And
sexy.
yeah, like it literally it does it like on the fly. Obviously these are just still images, but like it has animations and stuff where like it actually will do it. Like
Right.
I want to see if we can just see a quick like example of it. But it is cool. It's I would prefer like actually I don't know, because I haven't actually experienced this, but oh, I just want to show just for a second because this is an actual Apple. Yeah, like you see it can actually
Yeah.
like change based off of like the notification you're getting or whatever. So it's a cool little thing that they introduced last year with the like pro models, and now they've just made it standard across all iPhones. So going forward, all the even the cheapest iPhones should have that. And it's just funny that like Android users sometimes will say that like iOS sucks, but then you got them you got them
Everybody
with
downloading the version of the feature.
yeah 5 million downloads on the dynamic island fake dynamic island thing. Like it was a funny thing I wanted to point
That's
out.
hella. Hey guys, please, you're interrupting the world famous Jaboosle now. They stopped. They understood.
But yeah, did you have any more topics that you wanted to go over? That was the last one I had. The funny thing.
No, I think I'm good, bro. That was actually yeah, the main the funny one was the well, both I guess were kind of funny. Stealth situation
Mm.
and then the Rainbow Six Battle Royale thing. Um yeah, I like what we showed me here with the iPhones. That's funny.
Yeah. But okay, I guess that kind of wraps up this episode then. Um
Yeah, is this episode 5 now?
yeah. It is.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
Time flies.
We're already
Remember we it's crazy because we were talking about this like doing this for like a year where we would kind of just like every once in a while mention like, oh yeah, it would be so cool to do and stuff. And now it's 5 episodes in.
hell yeah. Going, man. Let's see what happens. Let's see what there's always stuff going on, man. So
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
we'll never run out of content.
Next time I won't accidentally delete my notes. I'll have maybe better or more topics. But
Oh no, you're good, dude.
but yeah,
I like what we did.
yeah, that was fun. That was fun. If you guys actually made it this far into the podcast, we obviously both really appreciate it. We know they can get a little bit long, but hopefully you guys are enjoying stuff like this. And if you do, then maybe subscribe to both me and AB. Get us to our milestones. I think AB right now is aiming for 10K, right?
Yeah, my goal for the year was 10,000 and we're about 7,000 in. So just just a little ways to go.
We're
And
about
I
like
think
we're about the same. I think I'm also like 3,000 subs off of my goal right now because I wanted to hit 25K, but I'm at 22 right now, and you're at 7K, and you want to hit 10. So we're both
Ooh-wee.
trying to get that 3K.
Yeah, so guys, if you haven't yet, subscribe to Jaboozle, please. He deserves it. He's a hard worker. He is bringing you guys the latest and greatest news regarding the entire gaming industry. And what's next? We're gonna start doing space gaming. We're going from console gaming, mobile gaming, space gaming.
We're gonna do. Did you see that stuff about the metaverse, the AI thing? It improved
Um,
like crazy. I'll just show it real quick before we end this. It's crazy how much it improved in like a year. Cause when what's his name, Zuck, when he showed it off,
Zuck.
when he showed it off, it was like PS2, like look, it was like
Yeah,
PS2 level avatars like this.
they look like Nintendo Me characters.
Yeah, exactly. And then they just recently shared a demo where he had some like podcast guy. I don't know his name. Damn. I can't search it up because I don't know. Maybe 2023. Oh wait, I think it's Lex something.
Oh, Lex
Yeah.
Friedman.
Yeah. Look, this is
There he
not
is right there.
this is not them. This is their avatars in the new like version of the metaverse or whatever. So they've improved it from these like Mii's, basically like the Nintendo like looking characters, to this where it has all the little like nuance and stuff, and it's crazy how much they improved it in like such a short amount of time. And
That is crazy.
yeah, like, and it's not even them talk, like it's them talking, I think, but it's their avatar or whatever, like interacting. Like it showed him specifically like walking around and stuff. And it just, it's crazy how much it improved in like literally just like 6 months to a year. And I can't, what I'm more interested in though is like, how are they going to apply this to games? Like, are we going to get VR games that look this realistic and stuff? And that's what I'm interested in. I don't really care about talking to people
Yeah,
in the
'cause I was
in the
thinking, like, if we're just
metaverse.
gonna have like a conversation, then just FaceTime me, bro.
Yeah, just call me, dude. But yeah, that's another thing. Maybe we can get into it more next podcast. But
Yeah,
I'm
for sure. We'll gather some info and then we'll delve deeper into it.
yeah, but appreciate you guys watching. If you guys have any topics that you want to hear us look into and talk about and stuff like that, then make sure to comment them down below. We both read all the comments and stuff. And yeah, also go subscribe to AB if you're watching this on my channel and you haven't yet. He makes awesome Call of Duty mobile content and just mobile gaming content in general. He has some of the best streams right now of any content creator, so make sure you guys check him out. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Love. Oh my god.
It always catches him off
Actually,
guard.
guys, dude, it surprises me. It's like, yeah, it's just like a little scare tactic there.
Yeah, but all right, guys, appreciate it, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Later, Jab.
Later, man. Peace.